The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
This one's wife. Slap in the face for Netflix. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Alison Beauchamp writes in the Daily Mail, Harry's Invictus documentary snub to Netflix chiefs. Disney-owned rival Hulu screens Duke's one-off film where he talks about family, despite his 5-year $100 million contract with Netflix. Prince Harry's Invictus Games documentary has started screening on streaming channel Hulu in what appears to be a slap in the face for rival Netflix, where he has a 5-year deal. An unannounced one-off show in which the Duke of Sussex talks about his family and his devotion to the games began streaming on Disney-owned Hulu yesterday. Called Prince Harry's Mission, Life, Family and the Invictus Games, it is based on interviews given by Harry to ABC News in Canada this month. It includes his appearance on Good Morning America on February the 16th, when he says he was glad to have flown to the United Kingdom to be by King Charles's side after his cancer diagnosis. A senior source at Netflix said that Harry and his wife, this one's wife, remain under a contract with them, but appeared to be taken by surprise by the news. A senior TV news producer stated that Harry will have had to have known about the use of the interview and will have had to have signed a release form to allow ABC to make it into a documentary for Hulu. Speculation about the status of Harry and this one's wife's relationship with Netflix has reached fever pitch after they relaunched their business and charitable ventures under a new Sussex.com website. But it failed to mention the streaming channel by name in the Archwell Productions section. Sources have explained that there is dissatisfaction on both sides over the Netflix deal signed in late 2020. Although it was reported to be worth $100 million, Netflix is said simply to be covering the overheads of the production company Archwell to the tune of around $3 million, and further income is dependent on the couple delivering projects. Pausing there, as you know, that's problematic for this one's wife. She's lazy, as is Harry. She, with her sense of entitlement, wants to be paid for doing very little. She wants to be able to turn up and just be paid for turning up. She doesn't expect to actually have to work. She's about the grift, not the graft. So far, they have delivered the blockbuster documentary titled Harry and This One's Wife, plus a film about Invictus and its work called Heart of Invictus. A film adaptation of the romance novel Meet Me at the Lake is planned, though there is no script yet, and it's not clear if the couple have settled on a writer. Other projects include a TV show, and another documentary was said by Netflix executive Bella Bayaria to be in the early stages of development, which probably means this one's wife has bandied around some ideas in an email. It's thought that Harry and this one's wife may have only actually received around $20 million from the streamer so far, all told, with one source saying that the Netflix deal is essentially a dead duck. Accordingly, despite being under contract to Netflix, it would appear that Harry and this one's wife have deemed it appropriate for something to do with the Invictus Games to be screened elsewhere. Harry undoubtedly will have been led by the position of his wife, as he always is, and he, his own narcissistic traits coming to the fore, will have been encouraged to look at it as if to say, well, Netflix have let us down. Remember, what this one's wife is essentially doing in encouraging the use of the program on Hulu is acting in the way that a narcissist would do so with an appliance that's viewed to be ineffective. Ordinarily, when somebody is in a relationship with somebody else, unless expressly agreed and stated to, it's an exclusive relationship, meaning that you would not commit infidelity, sexual, physical, emotionally, financially, intellectually. Of course, most people get worked up about the sexual infidelity that takes place. although they should really be more concerned about emotional, intellectual, and financial infidelity when that takes place. The narcissist, of course, isn't bound by those rules. Therefore, when the intimate partner primary source starts to fail, at least in the mind of the narcissist, the narcissist is allowed to go and seek solace elsewhere. The narcissist is allowed to go and have an affair. The narcissist is allowed to go and sleep with other people, all part of controlling those individuals and gaining fuel elsewhere, and potentially seeking a replacement for the intimate partner primary source. Irrespective of the fact that they're meant to be in a relationship with somebody else, irrespective of the fact that they might be married to that individual, that they may have been with them for years, have children together, built a life together, the narcissist is allowed to go elsewhere. And the behaviour of being contracted to Netflix but then going elsewhere is, by analogy, similar to that of the way that a narcissist would treat that intimate partner primary source. In the world of This One's Wife, Netflix have let her and Harry down. They pledged certain things and they haven't happened. She expected that they would get far more money than they actually have. She would have expected a greater level of support than that which they have received, and she will have not have liked the fact that she has to work in order to earn that money. Thus, Netflix have become painted black. Once upon a time, they were painted white, seen as wonderful. But with the cozying up to Paramount, and now the appearance of a program on Hulu, in effect, This One's Wife and Harry are flipping the bird to Netflix, governed by the distorted worldview that This One's Wife has, which is Netflix bad, Hulu good, Netflix bad, Paramount good. The contractual obligations mean nothing to the narcissist because in her world, Netflix have done her dirty. And in her world, that means she's in effect allowed to go and deal with other people. Indeed, the fact that probably executives have expressed concern and perhaps expressed disapproval of the lack of output by This One's Wife may well result in This One's Wife viewing that as a threat to control and therefore has reacted petulantly. Rather than think, maybe we better knuckle down and get on with some work and deliver to Netflix as we agreed, which of course would show accountability, not something the narcissist has. Instead, her narcissism basically tells her this: who do they think they are to talk to you like that? You are the amazing This One's Wife. Who do they think they are, demanding that you undertake some work to ensure that you get paid? You're the amazing This One's Wife. They're lucky that you've even signed a contract with them. Well, let them know you're not going to be messed around. Go with Hulu. And of course, it wouldn't be difficult at all for her to say to Harry, look, let's put this one with Hulu, because basically Netflix, they've let us down and they're probably going to get rid of us. So not only do we need to cock a snook at them, but we also need to be cozying up with other people because they might provide us with a deal and we'll get money. Netflix are now painted black, and as a consequence of that, and the likelihood that Netflix have realised these two are just a pair of work-shy grifters, we're better off without them, it certainly does look like that Netflix is going to ditch them in the not-too-distant future. Hence, the scramble to court somebody else, and this involvement with Hulu is an appetizer in that regard. Once again, understanding the narcissistic dynamic enables you to understand the behaviours behind the headlines. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.